Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming bigger things, wanna leave my old life behind. Not a guesser, not a home. Fit the box, fit the mold, have a seat for you. Take a number. I was like, hey, before the
Hello and welcome to the Pepsi Center. I am Matt Smith, and Anilo Piro is back with us this evening.
Happy to be back, Matt Smith.
Nuggets take down the Lakers 115-100 tonight, and they sweep their little weekend series, Bulls and Lakers, before a 6-game road trip in a little bit of a revenge fashion tonight, Anilo.
No, without a doubt. I mean, it was a gutsy all-around performance from this Denver Nuggets team. Entering this game, they were down 3 starters. 3, not 1, not 2, 3. Wilson Chandler and their 2 best players,
Right.
Paul Millsap and Nikola Jokic. Listen, the Lakers are not a good team. We know that. They're probably not going to make the playoffs this year, regardless. They're professionals, and they put up a tough fight tonight. But we saw the Nuggets rally around together tonight. They wanted this one for the team, for Mr. Fat Lever, who had his jersey retired tonight as well. I think this is the most unifying win that we've seen from this Denver Nuggets team this year. Really, you just saw the emotions riding high, and they were able to pull this one out.
Yeah, specifically Jamal Murray and Gary Harris. I thought, listen, those are 2 of the biggest pieces of this young Nuggets core, and without Nikola Jokic, without Paul Millsap, without Wilson Chandler, it's on those guys to step up and lead the charge. And tonight we saw Jamal Murray, who Coach Malone after this one said that he challenged both Jamal Murray and Emmanuel Mudiay to lock down Lonzo Ball, because in LA, Lonzo got pretty much whatever he wanted. He said that Jamal and Emmanuel needed to make their presence felt.
Yes.
And tonight they certainly did that. You could tell from Jump Street, Jamal was having a little fun with Lonzo out there, a little trash talk, and at the end of the game, afterwards in the locker room, Jamal said, everybody's got to have rivals now, don't they? So definitely good signs from the Nuggets, who took care of business and did what they needed to do tonight.
No, without a doubt. I believe the quote from Malone after the game was, you saw a different Jamal Murray tonight, and that's exactly what you saw. A lot of energy, a lot of passion. I don't know if I've seen it. He looked like a college player, not in a bad way, though, but in terms of the emotion, running up and down the court, jumping up and down, clapping his hands, getting the fans into it here at Pepsi Center. You saw him inject that liveliness within this Denver Nuggets team, for that matter. Really an all-around solid, not a dominant performance, but one where Jamal wanted to get something done, and he did.
Certainly did tonight. The Nuggets advanced to 10-2 in this building.
Man.
They have won their last 7 in a row at home, and we talked to Gary Harris after the game, and like Gary said, if you want to be a playoff team, you've got to take care of your home court, and so far in 2017, the Nuggets have done that. Now, it was a close game at the end of the first half, 59-55. Jamal Murray, Gary Harris played well, like we talked about, but we got to talk about the guys who are stepping up in the absence of Paul Millsap and Nikola Jokic, and Wilson Chandler for that matter. Mason Plumlee, Kenneth Faried, and Trey Lyles have done a very solid job this week, since all these guys have gone down, of stepping up and contributing in their absence.
I mean, I'd say beyond solid. I mean, you saw Trey Lyles. This is a guy that I believe has only played in 13 games for the Nuggets this season. And Malone even admitted to it at points. This was a guy that stayed ready, and there's just not enough minutes to go around. Obviously, injuries opened up some things, and he looked like he hadn't skipped a beat. I mean, he fit into the schemes almost seamlessly. He was attacking the basket, grabbing rebounds, doing a lot of fantastic things that really kept things, glued together for the team when the going got tough for the most part throughout this game. So Lyles, and specifically Mason Plumlee, is a guy that deserves all the credit in the world. Malone alluded to it after the game. They tried not to, stray away too much in terms of what plays they run when Nikola Jokic is in there, just supplementing that with Mason Plumlee, who Malone did say did a pretty solid job at, keeping the core values of this team intact, despite being down all-star Paul Millsap and star Nikola Jokic.
At the end of the first half, the one kind of black eye on this game is the Nuggets were dominated on the glass.
Yeah.
They were out-rebounded by 14 in the first half, finished this game getting out-rebounded by 13 and giving up 17 offensive rebounds. You really don't see too many times that a team can actually win, but tonight against the Lakers, they get that done. So it's good to see, and like Malone said, their Nuggets are learning new ways to win, and if they're going to be shorthanded here for a good stretch of December and a big test for them having to go out and compete on the road, which, Anilo, they've been bad.
Yes,
they haven't been not very good. They've been bad on the road in 2017. So if this team doesn't want to slide and kind of maybe get a little buried here before the calendar flips to 2018, they've got to find a way to pull this thing together. Gary Harris, after the game, talked about communication as essential, and we saw that the last 5 minutes of the game, right?
Yeah.
98-98, and the Nuggets, they came out, got stops, and put this game away.
It seemed they flipped the switch almost. It kind of seemed. You know, they said enough is enough with this Lakers team. You know, throwing us around to a certain extent. They buckled down. They blitzed Lonzo Ball and the rest of that Lakers team. I mean, they just looked rattled in the last minute, specifically in crunch time. It was kind of a reverse fortune. I mean, this time last year, this Nuggets team could not close a game to save their lives.
Not at all.
So you're seeing the baby steps, you know, with the home wins and whatnot, playing well here at Pepsi Center. Now it's time for that to translate to the road. Can they do that? That's the biggest question.
You know, I think after that Utah game and then the other night after Chicago, we were concerned that we didn't see a big bounce back, you know, in energy and intensity level. And tonight, yes, it was the Lakers, but like Anilo alluded to earlier, Jamal Murray was a different guy tonight.
Yes.
His sense of urgency was completely different than it was the last several games. Actually, in his last 4, he'd only averaged 9.5 a game after coming off a stretch where he had 3 in a row and 81 points total, right? So he puts up 28 tonight, and if he and Gary Harris can do the things that they demonstrated this evening on a consistent basis while these other guys are recovering and healing up, specifically Nikola Jokic, then the Nuggets will be in a good shot to be competitive every single night.
Without a doubt. They got a tough 6-game road trip coming up now. Obviously no Paul Millsap. Wilson Chandler's status is kind of up in the air. It's highly doubtful that Nikola Jokic sees the court over the course of the 6-game homestand. Needless to say.
Road trip.
Road trip, my apologies. But listen, Trey Lyles, Mason Plumlee, a lot of these different guys stepped up tonight. Can they step up again and continue to push the culture forward with this Nuggets team?
It's certainly going to be the biggest question. I think the biggest takeaway for me this season is that, you know, without Paul Millsap on the floor, this team defensively looks completely different. And that's an answer that they need to find here in the not too distant future before things kind of slip away from them against some better teams. Like he mentioned, 6-game road trip ahead. They go to Dallas, New Orleans, Orlando, Indiana, and then they finish that road trip with a back-to-back against Detroit and Boston in the middle of December. Pretty cold, and that's going to be very tough across the country, right? So you start off kind of warmer cities and go colder. So, you know, we'll see. What's the mental fortitude of this team like?
A good task for these guys to kind of try to accomplish here. A mix of games against, you know, good playoff caliber teams and teams that are kind of in the bottom feeding in the Eastern Conference and whatnot. So all around great test for this team. The going is going to be tough. I mean, this is not going to be easy. I know I've said it a gazillion times, but when you lose your 2 best players, that usually means not good things are not in the future usually when that happens. But listen, they got the win tonight against the Lakers in impressive, gutsy fashion. Let's see if they can keep it up.
10-2 at home, 7 in a row in the Pepsi Center. If you're coming out and coming to the game, you're seeing some good basketball, and all the guys in the locker room are super appreciative. Kenneth Faried specifically after the game talking about how much this crowd has really helped them in 2017.
It's a sellout tonight. I mean, and there's been a few games that have not been sellouts, but close to, and the games get loud and this arena gets loud. The players thrive off that. Fans coming to these games are doing a good job at really creating a home court advantage back here in the Mile High City.
Not a home game until the Pelicans all the way on the 15th of December. So the Nuggets are going to be away from this building for a while. The Avs have a ton of games here.
They do.
In the meantime, Matt Smith, Anilo Pirro, he was back. Thanks for tuning in here from the Pepsi Center.